I turned 21 at 6:03 a.m. The house detonated 5 minutes later. No confetti, no cake, just the scrape of a chair and my father's voice slicing through the hallway like a dull blade. Avery. He stood beside the kitchen table, arms folded, a plain white envelope balanced on the wood like evidence. My sister, Quinn, lounged against the fridge with the half-smirk she'd perfected in high school. Mom hovered by the coffee maker, eyes already red from pretending the air wasn't toxic. I crossed the tile in 3 steps. Dad nudged the envelope forward. Open it. Inside, a single Greyhound ticket to Seattle, departure 9:15 a.m. My heart punched my ribs so hard I tasted metal. Happy adulthood, he said, voice flat as the ticket stuck. Quinn snorted. Don't forget to write loser. Mom's fingers brushed my wrist. Don't fight it, honey. Just go. I stared at the 3 of them, judge, jury, smug executioner, and felt something inside me click into place. They thought they were launching me into the void. They had no clue I'd already mapped the stars. I hugged Mom once, hard enough to bruise, then walked to my room, stuffed a backpack with 2 hoodies and a charger, and left without another sound. Silence was the sharpest weapon I owned. 3 hours later, the bus hissed out of the station. Sunlight flickered through dusty windows while my phone lit up with texts from my co-founder, Elias Hart, 24, restless, the kind of mind that turned caffeine into code. Elias, you bailed early. Everything okay? Elias, bus? Call me. Me, long story. See you in 8 hours. Free wasn't the right word. I was airborne. Seattle rolled in under bruised clouds. Elias leaned against his matte black coupe, arms crossed, hair fighting the wind. One look at my face and his smirk vanished. What the hell happened? Birthday gift, I said, tossing my bag in the back. One-way eviction notice. He barked a laugh. Your old man's a genius. He just funded your origin myth. He drove us to the Apex Tower, 30 floors of mirrored glass that threw the skyline back at itself. My name wasn't on the lobby directory yet, but it lived in every line of code humming on the 22nd floor. We built Shadow Key, an AI firewall so tight it had quietly locked down 3 Fortune 500s and half the Pacific Northwest's unicorn startups. Valuation? North of 50 million and climbing. Federal contract pending. Public reveal in 6 days. The elevator doors slid open to applause. Streamers. A sheet cake that read Happy 21 Boss. My throat closed. These people weren't blood, they were chosen. I laughed until my ribs hurt, but under the noise a colder current ran. Dad thought he'd cut me loose with nothing. Quinn thought she'd won. They were about to choke on the scoreboard. Elias steered me into the war room. Board wants faces with the name, he said, sliding a tablet across the table. You and me, center stage, next Thursday. Press, CNBC, the whole circus. My pulse spiked. National coverage. My father's living room TV would carry the headline whether he liked it or not. You ready to stop hiding? Elias asked. I was never hiding, I said. I was loading. That night I stood on my balcony, city lights flickering like code compiling below. I pictured Dad's face when the anchor said my name. Quinn's smirk freezing mid-frame. Mom's quiet gasp. Revenge didn't need fists, it needed bandwidth. The week blurred, mock interviews, demo reels, investor NDAs. Mom called twice, I let it ring. Quinn texted a single line, bet you're couch surfing by now. I screenshotted it, set it as my lock screen. Motivation wallpaper. Thursday bled into Friday. Dawn found me in the Apex auditorium, stage lights hot enough to melt skin. Reporters packed the aisles. Phones up like periscopes. Elias squeezed my shoulder backstage. Spotlight in 30. Make it hurt. The MC's voice boomed. Please welcome the architect of unbreakable digital defense. Avery Quinn. Co-founder and chief cryptographer. Cameras strobed. Somewhere across 3 states, my father dropped his coffee mug. Elias joined me for the demo live breach attempt, real-time shutdown. The room went dead silent, then erupted. Questions flew like shrapnel. Avery, 21 and already a legend. How? I smiled. I started when they said I couldn't. My phone buzzed off the hook. Dad. 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 I declined every call. After the final handshake, Elias and I escaped to the rooftop. Seattle glittered below, wet and electric. He handed me a paper cup of terrible champagne. To the girl who turned a bus ticket into a throne. I clinked his cup. To the guy who never blinked. My phone lit up again, Mom this time. I answered. Avery, she whispered, voice shredded. We saw. Your father hasn't moved from the couch. Quinn locked herself in her room. I stared at the skyline. Tell them the eviction worked. I found a better address. A long pause. Can you ever come home? Maybe, I said. But not as the kid they kicked out. I hung up, wind whipping my hair. Elias bumped my shoulder. Still think revenge needs yelling? I laughed, the sound bright and sharp. Nah. It just needs a headline. Below us, the city kept coding itself into tomorrow. I'd walked out with $60 and a duffel. Now I owned the skyline. Not an ending. A launch sequence.